Good afternoon everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, let's do a walk around and tour of this 2018 Mazda 6 Grand Touring. This particular model is going to be in the mid-level trim range when it comes on to the different trim levels that the Mazda 6 came with. You had the Sport, Touring, Grand Touring, the Grand Touring Reserve, and of course you had the Signature being the highest one. And the Grand Touring that we're looking at here is kind of that mid-level trim like I mentioned at the beginning. Now, what does the Grand Touring give you specifically? It's going to give you things such as leather seating. You're going to be getting your 19-inch wheels on this one. You're going to be getting a pretty nice looking package as well, as you can see. But if you want more stuff, you'd have to upgrade to at least a Grand Touring Reserve. That would give you the cooled seats. You'll be getting fog lights. You'd be getting that kind of roasted brown leather interior that came with it, and much more things. But with that being said, a huge thank you to Bob Thomas Pre-Owned, which is a part of the Thomas Auto Group here in McKinney, Texas, for giving me some time with this one today. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get started. As you can see on the key, it's a pretty simple key, and it's one of the Mazda's older key fobs. You have your functions here, which include your lock, unlock, your trunk release, and your panic button. Starting off here in the front of the vehicle, we can see your code of design language that Mazda was well known for using from way back when, and as you can see, it's aged really well. You do have a front-facing camera right here, which is why the Mazda emblem looks the way that it does, and overall it's complemented with this very uniquely finished grille. As you can see also, we are working with a set of LED daytime running lights with LED headlamps. Checking out the wheels and tires, we are taking a look at a set of Yokohama Advan Sport All Season Pluses on 19-inch wheels. These measure 225, 40 R19s all the way around. Coming up to the door, this vehicle does have a smart key access system, allowing for easy access to the exterior as well as the interior. By having the key fob in your pocket and come out to the door, just touch this button here, and you'll be able to jump on inside. And to lock it, tap it again, and one beep will indicate that the vehicle is locked. The exterior color of this one is finished off in Meteorite Gray Metallic with a black leather interior. Come over to the door panel. As you can see, you're going to have some hard touch plastic material on top. However, it's made with some softer material down here that has since aged pretty well, and it looks like it's been sitting out in the sun for a long time because it does feel a little bit stiff. However, you do have some stitching right here, as well as right here, to kind of complement the door panel a little bit, as well as this aluminum finish on top. You have an aluminum door handle. Your power mirror controls are here, power locks, power windows, child window lock here, and then down here, a small storage pocket and an area for a small cup holder. And then next to that, you do have your Bose speaker in the door jamb. Now with that smart key access system, the Mazda 6 does come standard with push-button ignition. By having the key fob in your pocket or in the vehicle itself, simply just put your foot on the brake and hit the button to go. Very nice. The Mazda 6 does come standard with a fully leather-wrapped rack and pinion power steering wheel with controls here on the left as well as on the right sides. You also have paddle shifters on this side, as well as on this side. To the left, you're going to have your volume controls, information buttons here, hands-free telephone controls to the left. To the right, you're going to have your cruise control, forward collision warning, and your different mode and cancel switches right here. But taking a look at the gauge cluster, we're taking a look at three main gauges. To your left, you're going to have your tachometer. In the middle, you're going to have your speedometer. And to the right, you're going to have your coolant temperature as well as your fuel range. And inside of that third gauge, we are also going to be looking at your driver information center. Now, with that being said, speaking of it, as you come over to this side, we're taking a look at our driver information center, which shows us our miles to empty, the exterior temperature, as well as this vehicle's odometer reading, which this one has just over 54,000 miles. You have your trip aid information, which includes your miles driven and average fuel economy. Trip B information, maintenance, picture of the vehicle, and then back to your compass. Coming over here, we do have Mazda's older 8-inch infotainment system here. This upgraded from the 7-inch display in the older Mazda products. And as you can see, it's basic. It's going to get the job done for you at the end of the day. And it's going to be controlled through this little control knob down here, just like it is in newer Mazdas today. Now, as you can see, starting off from the very beginning, we have applications, entertainment, communication, navigation, and settings. Starting off with applications, we're going to have our HD radio traffic map, fuel economy monitor, vehicle status monitor, as well as Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Going over to our audio, we're going to turn down the volume here for copyright purposes. As you can see, it's going to show what's playing on the radio, as well as what genre. You also have little sub-menus down here, which includes what's audio, sources, favorites, HD stations. This is to adjust the quality of the audio, as well as seat track and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool to see. You also have AM and XM radio in here as well. Come over to communication. That's going to be where you'll be able to pair your phone to the vehicle. And when you do that, you're going to have things such as favorites, contacts, call history, dial phone, text messages, as well as settings. Come over to our navigation system. It's going to be the older, kind of almost like a TomTom based looking navigation system. And as you can see, it has aged pretty well. You also have your sub-menus down here, which includes your information, points of interest, settings, and stuff of that nature. And of course, that 2D there is going to be your two-dimensional map that you can set up if you want. And then last but not least, that brings us to our settings. Our settings is going to be a comprehensive list of things that you can change based on things that you'll be using every single day. As you can see, you have different categories on top, which include your display, safety, sound, clock, and more. Starting off with the display here, you can turn the display off. You can turn the display off and show a clock. You can change the system to reflect the brightness or the quality of the map. As you can see here, it's going to be set to auto. We can also put it on day mode, which would be like this, and then night mode would darken up the map completely. Also, you can adjust the brightness, contrast, and of course restore factory settings. Safety, of course, you're going to have your distance recognition support system, blind spot information system, lane keeping assist, as well as your collision braking system as well. Sound settings is going to allow you to adjust your bass, treble, fade, and balance, as well as your guidance volume, as well as your Bose audio system as well. So center point, audio pilot, beep. You can check any of these off if you want to. Coming to our clock, you can adjust the time, GPS sync, time format, time zone, and of course your daylight savings time. Vehicle settings, you're going to have rain sensor wipers you can turn on or off, door locks, turn signals, and lighting. Devices, of course, Bluetooth, Android Auto, and Apple CarPlay. And then system settings are going to be for things such as tooltips, virtual reality examples, language, temperature, your distance, music database update, as well as do a factory reset as well. So overall, that's just a quick look at some of the settings that you can change and go through inside of the 2018 Mazda 6. Now, with that being said, this vehicle does have a 6-speed automatic transmission, and when you put into reverse, you do get a nice backup camera with guidance lines. And so with that being said, guys, that wraps it up here for the infotainment system in the 2018 Mazda 6. Below that, you do have your vents, followed by your hazard button. Coming down here, you do have your climate control settings here, dual zone climate, and then all your controls for that climate stuff is going to be down here, which includes your fan speed you can turn on or off, recycling. You do have your fan speed here, front and rear defrost, and overall it does look pretty nice. You also have heated seats for the front and front passenger too. Come below that, you have a little storage area where you can lay your wallet or even a cell phone. Like I mentioned, you do have your 6-speed automatic transmission. You do have manual shiftability. So what you do is go here, go up or go down. You do have your drive mode here, which, as you can see, will come up on the screen. As you can see, it says Sport. Pretty cool. Electronic parking brake, auto hold. This right here is your little scroll knob that we were using on the infotainment system, as well as your shortcut buttons. You have audio, home, navigation, a back button, as well as your favorites. You have a physical volume knob right here as well. You have two cup holders here where the key is in. And as we come over here to the glove compartment, you do have a decent amount of storage space with a lot of things going on in here, such as an aux jack, two USB ports, an SD card port, as well as a 120 watt outlet. The Mazda 6 Grand Touring seats are pretty comfortable, and I do like the way that they're put together. I also like the accenting coming down the middle, as well as the perforations, as it does add a nice touch. Come over here to the glove box. It is dampened, and you have a decent amount of storage space inside. Come up here, you do have your garage home link, as well as your mirror and stuff of that nature. You do have controls here for your overhead lights, as well as for your sunroof. Sunglass holder right here. Come over to your visor. As you can see, you have a mirror here with a light. Pretty cool. And then to the far left, you're going to have your traction control. You can turn it on or off, and lane departure warning, you can also turn it on or off. And then down here, this is to open up the trunk. But overall, this is the only Mazda that I've not done a video on, and so far I'm enjoying my time with the Mazda 6. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the rest of the 2018 Mazda 6 Grand Touring. Coming into the back of the Mazda 6 Grand Touring, materials do fall through quite nicely, as you can see. And overall, it does look pretty nice in here. You do have two seat pockets, one on this side and one on that side. You have your rear vents down there. And then you do have a pad armrest with two cup holders and a little bit of storage space inside. And you also do have two USB ports right there. Fuel tank. The Mazda 6 does come standard with LED taillights in the back. You have this chrome piece coming around this middle portion here, which is very nice. Mazda 6 emblem here, a Mazda logo there, and of course the Sky Active Technology badge right over there. Okay, to open it up from the inside of the vehicle. Opening it up, you do have a good amount of storage space inside coming in, and as you can tell, it's pretty cavernous. You're looking at around 14.7 cubic feet of cargo space, which is plentiful for this segment, but it's kind of on the lower end in comparison to some rivals. Now, with that being said, back here we do have our carpeted floor mats, our carpeted trunk mat. You have some storage space over here, and a little bit of space on this side. You also have your pull tabs here, so if you want to, you can fold the back seats down for extra storage space. And then underneath here, we do have our spare tire. Under the hood of the Mazda 6, you had your choices of two different engines depending on which trim level you went for. This one being the Grand Touring, you have the 2.5 liter turbocharged Sky Active G 4-cylinder engine. It produces 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. 227 horsepower is going to be if you put regular gasoline in here, but if you put 91 or higher octane or premium fuel, you'll be increasing power from 227 to 250 horsepower. Torque remains the same at 310 pound-feet of torque. It's going to be through a 6-speed automatic transmission, and this vehicle is front-wheel drive. All right, guys, so back in the Mazda 6 Grand Touring. It is a treat to check this one out, guys, because like I said right before we went and checked out the rest of the vehicle, I've never reviewed a Mazda 6 before, and I'm happy to tell you guys that it continues to be one of my favorite Mazdas that Mazda no longer makes. And that's the thing I want to talk to you guys about here. The Mazda 6 at one point was a very dominant seller. It was very popular, just up there with the Honda Accord and the Camry. The Camry obviously outsold the Mazda 6, I think 2-1, but the point is that this vehicle was very popular with those who didn't really want a Camry, who didn't really want an Accord, but wanted something that would be kind of a luxury premium vehicle, if that makes any sense. And that's what this vehicle provided for you. It was a sedan that did very well in the last couple of years. You know, 2020 was the last year that Mazda made the Mazda 6. And since then, they haven't really come out with a replacement for this vehicle, which is kind of sad because this vehicle was very dominant. A lot of reviewers, a lot of enthusiasts praised this car for not only being a luxury oriented vehicle in some way, but it was one that came out and did what it needed to do. The Grand Touring, well, it might not be the highest one that you can buy in the Mazda 6. It is one of the better looking ones that you can buy in this particular case here. Like I mentioned, if you wanted the more nicer necessities, you'd have to upgrade to a Grand Touring Reserve or a Signature to get those options. But with that being said, for a Grand Touring, this is pretty well equipped. As you can see, you have a basic setup. You have a good infotainment system. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have a very potent engine under the hood. It's a turbocharged Skyactiv motor, which is very good. You have ample backseat space. You have a good cargo area. So overall, this was, you know, that's the kind of thing that a lot of enthusiasts liked. And unfortunately, it came to an end a few years ago, of which that's when the mid-size sedan segment, as we all know, is not really doing all that hot anymore due to the influx of crossovers and SUVs. But today, I would still think that if Mazda kept the 6 for a bit longer, redesigned it to kind of like how we see the Mazda CX-50, or not even the CX-50, more like a CX-5 or even a Mazda 3, this would continue to sell very well. But with that said, guys, that's going to wrap it up here for this walk around and tour of the 2018 Mazda 6 Grand Touring. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next